Hey everybody, Mike from Drug Bonsai here, and this morning we're at the Bowers Museum in Santa Ana, California for the start of the annual Kofu Kai bonsai exhibit at the Bowers. It's no outside beverages allowed, so cheers. There's the show. There's the trees. Let's go take a look. But one of the things that happens to me sometimes is I look at a tree and I really like the way it looks on a shelf, on a bench at home. And then I look at it when it comes to the show, and then I take a picture of it and I look at the picture. So this makes the tree look long and lanky, and this makes the tree look long and lanky. Okay, I couldn't really work on it and record at the same time. Looks like so. I think that that's quite a lot better. So this is what the big room looks like. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 rows of trees. So there's a nice boxwood from our club president. Interesting accent. I have no idea what that species is. It's kind of cool. This is bonsai student trees. I actually am not entirely sure what class this is from, but I guess this is some of our... It's actually pretty good work if this is beginners. I've had so much trouble potting up rosemary. Rosemary would make a really cool bonsai if they didn't die every time I repotted them. Nice cork bark. And I guess this is you'd call that a Psyche. It's a cool little Shohin boxwood, nice and tight. It's another one of our president's trees. An olive. This is coming off of a stump, probably of a tree that got torn out of a landscape. And another really cool accent. Okay, so this tree, that's a cool little accent. This tree is from my friend Bob, and he is one of the 2 other students of Manny Martinez that I used to go every month to Manny's house and work on trees and learn about how to make bonsai. So this is mine. This is my Ginkgo forest. And I got that table for like $25. It's basically the top of an end table, I think. I cut the legs off. So, you know, nothing about bonsai has to be expensive. Not even the display tables. There's my little accent.
Right here, Bob. Coming up in the rear.
So this is kind of cool. So this accent, one of my friends was just telling me that he had this type of, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, pop up in his pot like as a weed. And he potted it up and uses it as an accent, and it looks really cool. I can't tell what this is potted in. It looks like it's in a knit something or other. Pretty cool. And then the tree itself looks like one of the trees from Goshin. A needle juniper with a dead apex. Nice foliage pads. Large, tight foliage pads. Here's a formal Kusamono display. I don't know if that's like a... Oh, that's made of rope or something. I thought it might be a bird's nest at first. So, a rope sculpture of some sort. A very intricate... It looks like a reproduction of a very old, intricate scroll, traditional scene, and then really interesting Kusamono display. So it's got some wild grasses, got a lot of different species here. The mosses, very, very good. My moss does not look good. That's what is it, Irish moss? I can't remember what that stuff's called. It's all on roof tiles with a, I don't know if that was, it almost looks like that used to be part of a desk or something. It looks like marble inlaid in, I assume that's wood. Maybe it's, yeah, that's wood. So, very, very interesting display. Here's another fruiting plant. So this is a crab apple with a whole lot of ripe fruit on it. And another accent pot that I really like. I like the glazing on that one. Very interesting, runny, colorful glaze over a more stable base brown glaze. And I need to get more accents like this. You have to kind of plan this ahead of time and keep up on them. But, you know, frankly, there's probably a lot of accent plants you can make out of just weeds in your yard and what have you. That looks great. I don't know if that's a weed or not, but the juniper, pretty cool. His moss is better than mine. And some nice, tight Shimpaku foliage. Can't really see it's got a cool deadwood crown that you can't even see.
Sir, do you have any questions?
Not at this time. Thank you, sir. Quick reminder. It's not a bad little accent. This is, I'm guessing that this is a grafted Shimpaku on San Jose or Prostrata rootstock, but obviously it's been worked on for a long, long time. It could just be Shimpaku, but almost every Shimpaku I've ever seen this big is grafted. This next one I'll show the accents first. That's a Cotonia ester. Nice. I like that pot. I like to make pots like that. And then, look at this. With full-size fruits ready to be picked. This is some sort of a quince. But look at the fruits on this thing. So that's a fruiting quince. Okay. And over here is one of our more formal 3-point displays, complete with a scroll. This row features the work of just one artist, my buddy Tom. Tom is well known for collecting massive junipers from the desert. This particular one here is a Utah juniper. And look at the twisting lines. That's a great deadwood top and nice healthy foliage. Great tree. he used the same species for his accent that I used for one of mine. This is another one of Tom's trees. I think it's just enormous. He digs them out by himself too. Somehow gets them to his truck by himself, and gets them home, and somehow manages to get the roots into containers this big. Crazy. Now this one is a hawthorn, and it is fruiting like crazy right now. Those look pretty cool this time of year. With a little, the little accent is a tiny bougainvillea. Looks like a pixie bougainvillea type. Nice. This is Jones.
I made that piece of wood out of
That is a big old, I'm guessing a Prostrata juniper. Oh, no, sorry. I don't have my glasses on. That's definitely Nana procumbens. Huh. Procumbens Nana juniper. So, like my little coconut bonsai, if you let it grow up to be big and strong, it can end up looking like this.
What are you gonna, oh, trail mix? Oh, we're gonna walk?
Yeah. Right down the trail.
Alright, I'm gonna take a quick editing break here. I've got the first of the two things that I learned. So tip number one coming up right now. I'm going to share with you the secret that one of my club members uses to make his regular old Chinese elm foliage look as small as like a seiju Chinese elm's foliage. And I had trouble believing this one, but he's got the receipts. He showed me what he uses. He showed me a picture of his tree before he started to apply this technique. I'm about to show you the tree, the product he uses, and what the tree looked like before he started using that product to make his elm leaves shrink to the size of seiju foliage. So, anyway, cheers. This is actually one of my favorite displays. This is my friend Bill, and he's got, I can't remember what this is called. It's something like Peruvian pepper or something. It's a succulent, and it's got these itty bitty little leaves. I absolutely love the foliage on these things, and I like this accent too. It looks almost like a dwarf citronella geranium. I can't tell exactly what it is, but I like it. And then there's this. So this is a Chinese elm, and if you look at the foliage, it's like, it's smaller than a Caitlin elm. It's almost, the leaves are like the size of a seiju, but it's not a seiju. And Bill showed me a picture of this tree previously, and I know he wasn't mistaken because you could see this root back when it was alive. Kind of a cool lime sulfur deadwood root on this elm. But what was fascinating to me was this is a regular Chinese elm with regular size foliage, and he's gotten it this small. This is so small. I asked him how in the world he did that if it's not a, a special cultivar or something, and he gave me a very unexpected answer, and he said I could share it with you guys. So it is this. He says he applies it once a year, an all-purpose systemic rose fertilizer. It says not to use in potted plants. I guess it's for people who don't want their potted plants foliage to shrink like this, but that's not us. So I'm gonna try that on a Chinese elm. I'm gonna get my hands on some. I'm gonna try it on a Chinese elm. I'm gonna see what happens. Some more from Bill. He's got pretty good. I believe this is one of Frankie's cork bark Portulacaria afros. He's showing it as an accent tree. Got kind of a cool traditional formal upright sort of look to it. Kind of cool. And cool little Suiseki. And then this is a trident maple starting to come into fall color. That's pretty darn good fall color for what is essentially today's actually the last full day of summer. And here we are in Southern California, and a trident maple already having color like that. That's a pretty cool tree. And then this is also same artist, a pomegranate. I don't know if there's a twisted pomegranate or just a regular old pomegranate, but this is a dwarf pomegranate. A lot of dead wood coming off the main trunk. Got a couple of fruits that have landed on the ground. But this shari goes all the way up to where from this point up, it's all dead wood, and it goes up into the foliage, and now it's finally been surpassed by the crown of the tree. And he's got also a pretty cool cascading succulent accent in a very, very interesting pot, in my opinion. And then he's got this as an accent. This is, by its own right, a pretty cool Shohin Japanese black pine. And he's just sort of casually showing it as an accent plant. Nice work, Bill. Very cool. This is this tree is from one of the artists in our club who's also a painter. Multi-species. There's mono accent. There's a tree by Wanda. I think there's an interesting story behind the main tree. This is Ficus benjamina, and I heard the story about this tree. This used to be an office tree. It was kept outside, and I guess somebody's boss used to use this. It's a long story. I think I understood it correctly. If someone parked in his spot, they got this tree put in their car or on their car or in the cab of their truck or something like that, like company truck, I don't know. But it got doors slammed on it and got tossed around quite a lot. So a lot of stuff died. And it's hard to get deadwood to last on a ficus, much less a Ficus benjamina, but there it is. This is big old California juniper, much larger trunk than some of the others. Foliage, still the natural California juniper foliage. Nothing different grafted on it. Big pot, big stand. And man, there's a whole lot of bulbs in that accent plant. That's been going for a long time. Those bulbs have reproduced or split or whatever they do many, many times. So this is a legacy tree. This is a tree that I assume was designed by one of our founding members, actually, Mary Bell. Mary Bell passed away this year. That's a picture of her with John Naka. And it's got a traditional Suiseki as the accent. And this is the tree. It is a crepe myrtle with really nice flowers. The blooms on this are really nice. My blooms on crepe myrtles all come out as big, long spikes. But this is very, very nice movement on the trunk. Nice tight foliage pad at the top. Very nice flowering. So this is my friend Wanda's prostrata juniper, mostly deadwood. I'm wondering if this is a tanuki. Oh, it's a tanuki, I think. I'll have to ask Wanda. I'm pretty sure it's a tanuki. So a tanuki is when you have a live tree coming up around deadwood to make it look like it's part of a deadwood. With a cool little flowering accent plant. And then over here, this was a John Naka tree. So this is a flowering pear. Cool little accent. Nice drum pot. Handmade. Those are hard to make, very time consuming with, I don't know what the fruits end up looking like, but yeah, very cool. In the first row, if you come in the back entrance, or actually even if you come in the main entrance, you come in here, and the first thing you get is Peter Max Shohin. This, I believe, is a Virginia creeper. And then he's got 4 other Shohin in his display. Peter Makashib is pretty well known for being a Shohin guy. And he's got big trees too, but his Shohins get a lot of attention. Very cool little Shohin drum pot. A lot of deadwood for such a small Shimpaku juniper. He's got a Cotoneaster, a lot of twisting in the trunk, and an unusual and artistic yellow Shohin pot with a really good moss. My moss does not look that good. We've got a very, very wide-based olive Shohin with really a lot of tight foliage. Very nice. And then another crab apple. This is one of 2 crab apples in the show. And this is Bursera fagaroides. Interesting. So I guess Bursera is that desert rose? I don't know. It's clearly a succulent. And it's almost like a raft. Really cool. That's kind of a fascinating tree. And a big old pot. I'm going to have to ask the artist about that pot. Cool little accent. This would be, I mean, kind of interesting as an accent without the flowering, but it's getting ready to bloom. Either that or it already bloomed, I can't tell. And then finally we've got my California juniper. This is fairly small for a California juniper. What I think makes this one interesting is the deadwood, the roots. It's a very, very old tree, and not all that much foliage on it, but it looks healthy and strong. And then my accent is this guy, which was on an earlier video when I made this out of a big bushy neglected juniper. Put it into this brake rotor. I've had a number of people ask me about the pot because They wondered how I got that finish. I told them it's metal. And then it's sitting on top of my wood finish ceramic boards. So very little in this accent is what it appears to be, or what one would assume it to be. So I kind of like that. And of course it's very sparse to kind of match and complement the California juniper. There was the demo tree. Okay, editing break number 2. How to keep your really top heavy tree from falling over when you put it on a stand or whatever. And I mean, the answer is really simple. I should have probably figured that one out myself, but here, I'll show you. Anyway, cheers. As we're getting ready to wind down, here's something I learned this weekend that I didn't know before. Sometimes if it looks like a tree is too top heavy and should topple over, it doesn't, because the area around the roots has light soil. The area where they don't need roots, or it doesn't have roots, underneath this moss, all decomposed granite. Very, very heavy material. That's how it doesn't tip over.
So we'd like each row's poles to be taped together.
Up and down.
Huh?
Top and bottom.
Top and bottom ones. Yeah, so when you need to move.
And that's a wrap. We are done with our Bowers Museum show. Thanks for watching. Stay cool.